Hi Cardano lovers, welcome to Cardano Land, your daily dose of Cardano. If you're interested in everything around Cardano, this is the place for you. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for us to provide you with more Cardano news, and let us know in the comments how much you think Cardano will cost next week. Also, before we proceed any further, allow us to mention that this video is not meant to be a piece of financial advice. Everything being mentioned here is only for educational or entertainment purposes. We recommend you kindly take the advice from your financial advisor, or make sure you conduct your own due diligence prior to making any investment in any cryptocurrencies. The crypto markets are highly volatile, and risks are much higher than other forms of investing. Therefore, one of the major things that needs to be accomplished prior to investment is to have a stringent diligence process to prevent any loss in your portfolio. Having said that, let us now get to it. Cardano has been having a fantastic year in 2021 so far. With the network breaking milestone after milestone, do you think Cardano will soon overtake its predecessors and take its respectful place in the crypto world? Let's figure it out. Cardano price was among the victims this Monday morning in the sell-off that flooded cryptocurrency markets. Big names like Bitcoin and Ethereum trended higher during the weekend, but they all paired gains and looked for support around Friday's levels. Investors must have had a perfect weekend watching their cryptocurrency portfolio increase in value. The feeling on Monday morning, however, must have undercut their euphoric feeling from Sunday evening. This weekend, it looked like cryptocurrencies were out of the woods after a few weeks of heavy selling and the long road to what looked like recovery. July is off to a rather promising start, with Bitcoin's price showing significant strength after recent losses. During the weekend, Bitcoin and Ethereum were trending higher. Cardano, like all other altcoins, has recovered from the recent sell-off. Although ADA price has yet to rise above $2, there are some positive signals that it will shortly. But no need to panic just yet. As of today, July 6, 2021, Cardano's price is $1.41. A closer look at Cardano price action shows that it is respecting a fan technical play. The 1-1 trend line was very well supported on July 1st, with buyers pushing ADA price toward $1.50. We get confirmation that this fan is being well respected as we see hours and days before the half fan line and the third fan line reflected in the wigs of the candles. Even the 1/8 fan is confirming the trend, which is a technical indicator to be aware of. Looking forward, this means that some further downside is possible for now, but the 1-1 fan line should be respected around $1.33. If that level breaks, Cardano price has the $1.30 psychological level and the $1.28 triple bottom from this weekend as additional support. Here's the deal. Experts say that Cardano may be one bullish catalyst away from igniting a strong price surge. But what's that catalyst we all have been waiting for? Well, the catalyst to push ADA to new all-time highs will be the completion of Goguen, the stage of Cardano's roadmap that will integrate smart contract capability. The experts say that the highly anticipated fundamental development could push Cardano to greater heights against the US dollar, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. For those who don't know about smart contracts, imagine that you need to sell a house. It's a rather complicated and daunting process, as well as high levels of various risks. That's why the absolute majority of house sellers decide to find an estate agent, who deals with all the paperwork, markets the property, and acts as an intermediary when the negotiations begin, overseeing the deal until it's closed. It's situations like this where smart contracts could really come in handy and effectively revolutionize an entire industry, all the while making the process a lot less of a burden. Perhaps most importantly, they would solve a trust issue. Smart contracts work on an if-then principle, which means that the ownership of the house will be passed on to the buyer only when the agreed-upon amount of money is sent to the system. They also work as escrow services, meaning that both the money and the ownership right will be stored in the system and distributed to the participating parties at exactly the same time. Moreover, the transaction is witnessed and verified by hundreds of people, so the faultless delivery is guaranteed. As trust between the parties is no longer an issue, there's no need for an intermediary. All the functions that an estate agent does can be pre-programmed into a smart contract, while simultaneously saving both the seller and the buyer considerable amounts of money. Simply put, smart contracts work a lot like vending machines. You just drop a required amount of cryptocurrency into the smart contract, and your escrow, house ownership right, driver's license, or whatever else drops into your account. All the rules and penalties are not only predefined by smart contracts, but are also enforced by them. The Ethereum competitor made headlines in May when it saw its value reach an all-time high of $2.45 before dropping to $1.60 by the end of the month. This downward trend continued, keeping the rising star below $1.40 threshold for more than 20 days. This downward trend may have been broken on July 2nd, the same day when news about Grayscale's addition of Cardano's cryptocurrency, ADA, being added to the firm's digital large-cap fund. Edward McGee, Vice President of Finance at Grayscale, referred to the decision to add ADA to the fund by stating, "Despite Cardano being an unfinished product, the blockchain network has found success in the crypto space not only by becoming the fifth largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization, but also by gaining quick adoption in different industry niches." Cardano's development team is creating groundbreaking advancements as the network continues to achieve significant milestones. The Alonzo upgrade has caused a lot of buzz in the Cardano environment as it makes considerable progress. Following the launch of the Alonzo Blue testnet earlier this month, it was reported that Alonzo may now run smart contracts. The Alonzo White phase of the upgrade will begin after successfully implementing a round trip between the ledger and back. The Foundation's CEO, Frederick Gregard, said that Cardano's shorter-term goals include onboarding at least 50 banks to use its native cryptocurrency, ADA. While laying down the targets for the next several years, the executive further asserted that 3 Fortune 500 companies could use the token within 3 years, and the number might rise to 10 by 2026. Currently, there is not yet a huge group of developers expressing interest in developing on the Cardano blockchain. Nonetheless, its community is strong and a majority of ADA tokens on the market are locked up in liquidity pools. This means that the tokens are not available on the open market. All Cardano needs is a little push. It is obvious that there is a huge potential here. Backed by a strong community, adoption by developers as a better and cheaper alternative to Ethereum is the way to go. Cardano is gearing up for some serious competition. Cardano price has risen from its lows of $1 on June 22nd to $1.44 in today's session. Bullish calls on the ADA price estimate a target price of $1.54 or higher. Cardano is currently in the spotlight, and every market signal points to Cardano being in a now or never situation. Cardano may break out past its all-time highs and maybe claim and chart new all-time high territory, as well as for the dollar chart to clearly start charting much higher into possible $3 to $5 territory if we truly enter the late stages of the bull market. If ADA price is unable to cross $1.43 to $1.48 resistance and 200 4H moving average, we could come down to find support at $1.36. If $1.36 is broken, then we will find support at $1.02 to $1.10 that is acting as a strong support since 19th of May 2021. Smart contract support might encourage more adoption of the Cardano network and even make it attractive to projects that want to launch on multiple blockchains. Given the congestion on the Ethereum blockchain, it's likely that there might be a huge migration, or at least an influx of developers and investors in ADA, pushing up its market cap and, consequently, its price. ADA is currently trading at $1.40 and is down by 2.03% in the last 24 hours, although it is still in the green by 6.73% in the last 7 days. It currently has a market cap of $44.5 billion and a circulating supply of 31.9 billion ADA. We hope you liked this video. Let us know in the comments below if you are a Cardano holder, and make sure to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. See you next time at Cardano Land.